So my name is Gil Raviv. We will talk today about Power Query. How many of you are familiar with Power Query? Nice. How many of you are familiar with M, the Power Query language? Custom functions in Power Query and M. Okay. How many of you are familiar with my book? Good. Good that not so many. So I'm not going to do a sales pitch today. So please don't judge me whenever you hear about some sales pitch. It's not because I'm really pitching for it. It's a Microsoft Press book, and usually authors are not getting millionaires from being authors, but the techniques that you will learn today will potentially help you to, if not to be millionaires, but to help others to be millionaires for sure, to help them while you are enjoying your work. Okay? So this is the key thing. Passion and fun is something that is now possible for data wranglers, and ETL for business analysts is a fun thing these days. So I'm really excited to be here today to talk about it and show you some of the cool techniques, and everything is also in my book. What we are going to do today also, since this is a Power Platform conference, right? Microsoft Business Applications. You have probably heard about many things in Power Apps and Microsoft Flow as well as part of the keynotes. And because of that, it's easy for a data wrangler like me that doesn't have time to develop business applications to develop in 30 minutes a business application that will do book raffle for my book. So today we are going to use Power Apps, Microsoft Flow, and a random function in Power Query to get 8 books that I have here and share it with you. So 8 of you will get the book today. So a bit about me. My name is Gil Raviv. I'm a Microsoft MVP, also working as a director in analytics for Avanade. I'm responsible for building capabilities of Power BI throughout our Midwest team. These days, to do Power BI in consulting is really, really cool and exciting because traditionally, lots of people that comes from ETL and traditional data warehouse will take forever to build something. And now these days, they just call my guys. We come for a few days, and you have, voila, a POC working and ready to start showing the value. And then later, you can take the layers out and improve some of the architecture. But Power BI is not just a pie chart. Sorry, most of the people will say pie chart is yak. So it's not just a bar chart interactive with nice toolbars, tooltips. Power BI is a full stack BI solution, which is really amazing and makes our life as consultants really fun for Power BI. Quick additional point, I also have a blog called datachant.com. I will mention one very interesting article that I published there around 8 months ago that is interesting for why we are here. And also before moving to Avanade, I was part of the Microsoft product team responsible for the development of Power Query inside Excel. So we were around 50. Now I'm not in Microsoft, so I'm not violating probably anything in NDA. So we were around like dozens of engineers in the R&D center in Israel, responsible for a source code that was developed by probably thousands of developers across 30 years, Excel. And we were the lucky ones to integrate all the cool features of Excel 2016 into wide global general availability. As part of that work, we took the Power Query add-in and integrated into Excel way before Power BI is what you know today. So that was a tremendous opportunity for me to move from software engineering and product management to realize, wow, this product is really cool. I really like to do data wrangling. I hated it in the past. It involved a lot of C++ or Python or whatever, and it was very tedious work. And now it's so fun. So I started to blog about it, and that's where I am today with you guys. So just a quick note for Evernet, our company. We are a global company, around 30,000 employees worldwide, doing a lot of data and AI projects for large organizations. And again, Power BI is a key instrument for us to bring clients a lot of value. You have a QR code that you can use. This is for my blog, datachant.com, about the impact of Power Query. So I did a survey started around a year ago, published the first result around October, then in December another batch. You have here 115 responders. All of them are Power Query users. They know my blog, so probably it's a skewed population, right? I didn't go to the entire population of Power Query, just those that already knew my blog. And I asked them how much time they think they saved for the organization, how much time they think others in Power Query should save for their organization based on their level of Power Query, and how much money they saved or earned for their company, not by reducing not by the time that is just for their save time, but also like actually how much money was saved for the company based on the insight or the automation that they have built. And you can see in the result here, $372,000 per individual. Okay, I think it's quite significant. And of course, one more element to mention here in this case is that if you will see in the red bar, you have the basic users. In the yellow bar, you have the moderate users, and you can see an increase of average days saved from 37 days a year to 67 days a year. So that's why, like, even when you start Power Query, you're starting to save 37 days, but as you move to the next level, you are doubling it, close to doubling it. And it's funny to see like the kind of the return of investment is starting to pay off, as you know, enough to be advanced, but it's not really critical to make more money or save time if you become like a ninja guru of M. It's enough to know a good portion to define yourself as an advanced user to get the major payoff. Okay. So this is for the survey for the book. So I'm encouraging all of you now, if you want to participate in getting one of these 8 books, to take your camera and then just go to the survey. Let me just show you very quickly how the survey look like. So everybody wants to try to get a chance to win. So basically, you'll have 2 questions in the Microsoft Form survey. First question is to get your email address. The email address was meant to allow me to automate back to you that you are participating in the raffle. And the second one will be when you win. I'm not going to use the email beyond that, so feel comfortable. You will also requested to provide in the survey a unique phrase. It shouldn't be something too personal. Don't use your email address or your social security number or your Visa credit card number. Okay, I'm going to use it if you will do that. So once you will send, let's say, some kind of unique thing about yourself, try to find a phrase that nobody else in the room will use. Okay? Otherwise, we'll need to resort to good old traditional way of doing raffles with notes and numbers. So once you'll provide the phrase, in the end of the session, I will present you in a Power BI report all the phrases that you submitted, and we will together use a random function to select the 8 winners. And then click a button in Power BI to send you the automatic confirmation for that book. In the end of the session, you're welcome to come here and get the book once you show me the email. Okay? Any questions? Everybody took the QR code? I will get perhaps 1 minute before we'll actually do the raffle to give you another opportunity to take it. Okay. So all of you know Power Query, so I will miss this slide where you can find Power Query in Excel. There are different ways to do so. Some of them I was part of the team that was responsible to make it more confusing, so I apologize for that. But that's Power Query, or the get data in Excel, or get and transform in Excel, depending on the version that you use. This is changing every quarter. So if you are a good, strong Power Query developer, these are the products. Some of them are not products like more endpoints like the Power BI gateway. But all these elements, some of them are actual products that allows all of you to now switch from doing perhaps Power BI reports or some financial modeling in Excel using Power Query to go to other divisions in your company and in other companies and do things 30 times faster than the traditional developers in those teams. So for example, you can now use SSIS and use Power Query inside to develop faster than what you would do perhaps by writing code. So very interesting elements, and of course, as Microsoft introduced the ability to develop business applications without the need to know code, at least not significantly, the Power Query that is now part of the platform allows you now to build a business application and connect with messy data set and clean it as part of the process without all the process of asking someone else in IT or another partner that you work with that owns the data to do the cleaning for you. So I think it's really remarkable, and this is why I think Power Query becomes more and more crucial for businesses. Okay, so now we are now switching to the demo part. No more talking, just showing. And we are now going through a bunch of different types of scenarios that are really common and demonstrate them. We'll start. So this is just a very quick slide from the first public screenshot from Power Query before it was Power Query. Before it was an add-in in Excel even. It was some kind of service on Azure. It's part of Microsoft SQL Azure Labs that is no longer, doesn't exist any longer. And we are starting straight from chapter 2, where in chapter 2 of the book we are working on messy data set. So again, most of you know Power Query, so we can do it relatively very quick. Okay, so I have here an Excel file that was part of the book. By the way, if you will go to Microsoft Press Store/Power Query, you can download all the sample files and the solution files for the book without buying the book. So everything is there for free. So part of the sample file that we have in the book is from chapter 2, exercise 2. This is just AdventureWorks data. You have here all the product catalog. So I'm going to use Power Query in Power BI. I'm using Power BI because all the latest features are there. So we have more things to show. Excel typically is 3 months behind, depending on the Office 365 that you use. So I open the new Power BI desktop. I will now import the AdventureWorks product catalog. And you can see that we have, also in the Excel, we have the products, and you also have kind of like lookup tables with the categories. So these are the categories with their codes and the colors of the products for AdventureWorks. And now I would like actually perhaps to start building visualizations and pivot tables in Excel and cool stuff in Power BI, to use the colors and the categories, but to use the actual name of the colors and categories and not codes. But in the fact table here, all the product catalog that we have, the data is encrypted inside, you will see inside the product number. Okay, inside, the first two letters are the category, the last two letters are the colors. So to break it and clean it, let's just demonstrate it very quickly. I'm sure that most of you or all of you are familiar with it. So I used Power BI, get data, loaded the Excel file, and now in the navigator dialog, I'm selecting the three tables, the three worksheets, and click Edit. Okay. So now you can see that we have here the categories. Our categories were a bit, the first column, the column was now generated as the first column, so I can use first row as headers. And let's check out colors table. We have the same problem. You see color code and color. So let's also use first row as headers. And now in products, we need somehow to extract the codes and the colors from this encrypted product number. So the easy and fun way to do that is to select product number, go to add column from examples, from selection. So now Power Query tell me in a kind of like a very naive way, look, Mr. Data Wrangler, I know that you may be lazy or not aware of all the dozens of ribbon commands that I have. Let's just give me some examples and I will try to guess what you are trying to do. Give me just the output, examples for what the output of the data that you want to use. So in our case, I would like the color code. And now if I will go, in my case, this will be BE. So I will enter BE, click enter, and you see automatically Power Query provided the right results. For example, NA, we have NA in the last two digits. And also if you know M, you have here the explanation of what the M will look like. Let me show you. So text dot after delimiter with the column product number and the delimiter dash after two characters will find this specific element. So sorry, not after two characters, after the second occurrence of the dash. Sorry. So now I'm clicking OK. How does it know that it is the last dash? It doesn't know. It just checked in a preview of the data and saw that he has only two dashes in the preview of the data and provide the last. Of course, it's a good question because if you think in the future you will have three dashes, this M code will not work well. So you may want to do just split the delimiter from the right, which is also easy. I just wanted very quickly to show you some of the things that you can do here. We will go through the exercises in the chapters, in some of the chapters very quickly, and we will progress with more and more sophistication as we go in this session. So now you may feel, how many of you feel that this is too easy? Too easy, too easy, too easy, too easy? Come on, too easy, too easy. Yeah. Okay. I'm enjoying making things too easy for you. So we have the color code. Let's do it very quickly now with the product category. So column from examples, from selection. And this one will be category code. And I will type here, you see the first two characters are, in this case, VE. And so I'm entering here VE, pressing enter, and everything again is the first two characters, so it works. And clicking OK. Now, if you are into modeling and DAX and good best practices, you will go through a star schema in Power BI. You will have the fact table, which is the product catalog, and you will have two lookup tables or two-dimension tables, as you may want to call them, for the colors and for the categories. If you, for some reason, working with perhaps Excel, and you may want to have everything without using Power Pivot, so you can now at this stage, what you can do, and let's just do it very quickly, I can now, of course, go to the Home tab and click Merge Queries. And let's now take the colors table and select color code at the top and color code at the bottom and click OK. We have now a kind of like table objects in Power Query that we can expand and just keep the new name of the color and click OK. And you see now we have blue, 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 black, black, black based on the code of the color code. If I'm just into having a single table in my report, I can now hide color code and keep the color. And this is where, if we don't have good experience with Power Query in the room, people will raise hand from, heavy experience in Excel. How come the color is still working when you just deleted the color code? So Power Query is just a process, a pipeline of transformation, so it doesn't matter that you delete some elements if they are no longer needed. We are not loading the entire data into the report. We are building the automation to do the ETL for us. So that's pretty much it. Again, because I'm preferring to do it in the star schema, I'm going to delete the 3 steps and just keep the codes, and to be able to use the colors and the categories just by clicking closing and apply and loading the data. We will have everything ready for us, because in the relationship table, because the way that I use the same column names, now I have the color code from the category code from categories connected into the category code, and the colors, the color code in the colors table connected to the color code in the products. This is not a session about modeling, so I will not explain about it too much. You have one-to-many relationship between the dimension table and the fact table, but now when you go to the report, I can easily select the color from here and the product, let's say the product price, and you see that you have all the data, just to show you very quickly. So everything is mapped correctly, even when we use those 3 different tables because of the relationship. Okay. Any questions? Cool. So we moved from just cleaning the data into a more interesting scenario, which is relevant in many business, that you have siloed information of the same schema and you want to be able to handle it correctly. So let's imagine that you have 3 different teams. Each team has its own, it can be a separated siloed data warehouse, or just like a SQL server that their local IT team manages for them, or typically lots of Excel spreadsheets that perhaps at the beginning were of the same format, but over the years they completely transformed into different elements. So in the next 3 demos, what I'm going to show you are scenarios of combining multiple data sets together. The starting point will be easy, just the data is of the same format. But in the next demo that will follow, the data will be mismatched. The column names will be completely different. And in the next one that will follow, you will also have very important information, not in the tables, that you will need somehow to preserve. Otherwise, you will lose context. Okay? So let's do that. So the starting point is relatively very easy from chapter 3. We have here 3 Excel files, each one for the products that were released in that specific year. So for some strange reason, the company, Adventure World company, had a different manager for all the product catalog, the portfolio manager in the company. Every year, they changed something there, and they decided to have separate files for some reason. Perhaps the manager was leaving to a better job. Perhaps that's just the way that the things were designed. So you see lots of product information, and everything in this file is for the products that were released in 2015. And you have two more files for 2016 and 2017. Now, since everything is in a folder, what can we do? Any recommendations? What can we do to combine all this data together into a single table from a folder? By the way, anyone here thinks that it makes sense to keep them as three separate tables? Do you want to discuss like for 2-3 minutes why it's not meaningful and very counterproductive to have three separate tables in your BI report? It's clear, right? I don't need to explain. I do see many examples of reports from some clients that are always like that. You open a Power BI report and you see, you immediately see in the name of the tables that, oh, this, and this table are the same. Why didn't you append them together? Oh, the column names were different, and here that's like very difficult to build a solution and to provide insight with this problem. So we will start by using the from folder to append those three files. It's too easy. Are you familiar with from folder in Power Query? All of you? Anyone who is brave enough to say, no, show me this demo? Okay, so I'll show it very quickly. It's so quick. So I'm opening a Power BI desktop, selecting File, Folder, Connect. I will go now to copy the path from the folder. I can also browse it, but it will take more time to find it. So this is the folder. Okay. And now I'm selecting here Combine and Edit, just for some validation test to see that it works. It asks me, okay, I see that you have a folder with many files. Which file would you like me to select in order to automate the process for all the other files? So in this case, I'm just selecting the default first file is okay. And I want to load the product catalogs from sheet 1. Select OK. And now Power Query will open. OK. Oh, sorry, Power Query Editor. And you see lots of things on the left. I will not explain them now. But the bottom line is that we now have here an appended table with all the files, the different files. Now, if we want to have a release here in the data to preserve the context that we have coming from the file names, it's relatively easy, right? We can do it in many ways. For example, let's just do split by column, by delimiter, by space, rightmost delimiter only. So now I will get, oh, sorry, I did a mistake. This should be, oh, come on. Ah, there is no space after, this is not a space. It's only a dash. Okay, so let's split the dash. I thought we have another space there. So a dash. It's here, sorry, guys. I missed it. Yeah, I edit all the time. So, yeah, that's my focus. So I'm now removing the value .xlsx, and I can remove this one and this one now because I wasn't very effective. I may need to do trim to remove the space that I missed, and this will be release here, and close and apply. And now we will have all the data appended together from the three tables. Let's see. So for example, let's take the here, the release here, and the parent, the product category, and some size. Let's say take weight. And you see that we have data coming from across multiple years, so it worked for us. Okay, that was like the most easy way to combine data from folders when the data is of the same format. Now let's go to something much more sophisticated. I'm jumping across chapter 4 of the book, which has multiple exercises that go you slowly through what I will show you now. So imagine that we have the product folder. Now the different, in Adventure World, the product portfolio decided to grow his team, so he hired senior managers to own each one of the product categories: accessories, bikes, clothing, and components. Okay? Each one of them was very creative and decided to have his own column names for the data. So now the product portfolio manager needs to see the entire insight from the product portfolio. Appending the tables separately, it doesn't make sense. He wants to append them together, but the names, the column names are different. So let's show you, so again, I'll open one file just to show you the type of data that we have. And you can see here we have product and ID. And if I will open another one, like bikes, you will see that we have instead product underscore number and name. So things were changed. Luckily for us, the product portfolio manager is a very strong Power Query developer. So we figured out that if he will have a conversion table, I'm opening a conversion table, which is part of what I explained in that chapter. So now I have a source and target table. In the source, all the bad names, all the bad column names that we have across the 4 product categories. On the right, in target, I have the normalized column name. Okay, so you can see I want to use the name as the column name for the product themselves. So if I will have product or product underscore name, I will call it name in one of those 4 files. Okay? So now, one important thing to say, and we see it with even large enterprises that acquire other companies, like the fact that someone from the strategy team that makes the decision how to change strategy or how to test the performance of the let's call it the appended organization, instead of waiting 2 years to append all the data warehouses, ask those different divisions, different companies that were required to provide the data in Excel, in CSV, map the column names that you want that are of the same semantic value, and use this technique to decide of the decision of the company, and it will take you an hour of work. And in our case, it will take 10 minutes, okay, because it's relatively more simple. Okay, so this is a truly powerful technique. So we have this conversion table, and we have the four files here. So what I would like to do now, I will open Power BI Desktop. Let me copy the folder. Okay, get data. And we'll select the folder again. Let's paste the folder here. And select combine and edit. Now, for Power Query users in their starting point of their journey, at this point when the data, the column names change, they will have a problem, because when they will just go through the steps to append the tables together, the mismatching column names will create scenarios where now, because I selected the first file in the folder will generate the rules, what are the column names that are going to be used. So if I will go now to the Power Query editor, you can see that, for example, product, and you can also use the new profiling feature that shows you in the green bar here. The green bar shows you all the legitimate values. The black one are empty values. So for all the categories that didn't add the column name product, the appended result provided empty values. Okay, so this appending is meaningless. We cannot do anything with it, and we need to be able to somehow convert it. So let's just, for making it more easy to read, let's call the appended products products. And now we are also going to load, the Excel file of the conversion table. So remember the conversion table that we prepared? Header conversion, and you can also find it for free on the samples in Microsoft Press store.com/powerquery. That's where the book, and you have a download section. You can just download it. So source target. Now what I would like to do is to build an M code that will be able to transform a column name based on a column name that will be found in source should be transformed into the target. To do it, and I will, sorry if I will jump very quick at this point, because we don't have time for all the demos that I would like to share with you. So it will give you kind of a taste and kind of leveling your own readiness in the journey of learning M and Power Query to see where you are at. So what we are going now to do is to transpose the table and change the keep the first row as headers. So now I have a new table with all the bad columns as a column name and all the normalized correct column names in the cell, in the relevant cell. So now, for example, if I will find in one of my tables a column name called product under name, I can build an M code that will just look for the first cell to know how to replace it. Okay, this will just make my M code much more simplified. Okay, so now we are going to products, and we will need somehow, before the append operation, to go for each one of the tables to convert them. So to do so, we are going actually to the sample query, which is this one. This is a sample query. Any change that I do here, in this case, it's only the first file. Any change that I will do here will be propagated into a function that will be run on the products table. So it's a kind of like a pre-append operation that we can do. In our case, what we would like to do now is to create a new step. Creating a new step, we can do it by clicking the FX button. FX, it's not like Excel. It will not show you all the functions in Power Query. It's just creating a custom step. It's a bit weird, but that's the case. So now you see we have a new custom one step called promoted headers. Promoted headers is just the previous step in the table. Okay, now what I would like to do, and perhaps, let's see. So I'm going to do table.transform column names. there is a function that allows me to transform all my columns. And how the transformation will work? By providing another function to that transform column name function. In our case, what we would like to do, just to show you, the transform column names will go will receive a table. Inside its operation, it will extract the list of the column names. So the iteration, the function that we need to provide to transform column names is a function that receives a string and replaces a string. So it will work through the list of column names to do this work. So now I need as a second parameter to provide, you see, name generator. I'm generating new names for my columns. To do that, to write very short functions in Power Query, I can use each. Okay, there is a section in chapter 9 that explains the each much better. And of course, this is not today about the syntax of M, so more like showing you very, very common business challenges that you can resolve. We are now going to create the function. So first of all, if we will just do this, each underscore will return the same name. Underscore is the input that we receive throughout the transform column names. The input is just the column name. It will go through all the list of columns, but for each one of them, the function, in this case, will just return the underscore, which is the same name. So we are just, this is kind of like an identity function. We don't do anything beyond just returning the input. If you would like to do something different, just to prove that it works, let me show you. AAA. If I will do something like that, all my column names are now AAA. Okay, make sense? So now I will move to the more advanced stuff, which is I would like somehow to go to the header conversion, ask based on the column name, which is the underscore, to find the first cell. And let's do that. So I have here header conversion. That's the table. Actually what we need to do, so table.column is a function that receives a table. Let me, I think, if there is a way to increase it, you'll see it better. So table, and I will increase the screen later on, so if you don't follow, just please bear with me for one more minute. So table column is going to receive now the header conversion as the first argument. It just returns the column as a list from a table. And underscore is the name of the column that we want to use. Okay? Now, once we have the list, which is the column that we want, based on the underscore as the input, we just want the first cell. How can we get the first cell? Either by using the curly brackets with 0, just to show you, to see curly brackets with zeros, or since this is a list, since all this table.column returns a list, I can also do list.first on the entire function. Okay? And now this one will return the first cell. Let's just see what I'm missing here. Okay, now we have a problem. There is, in one of the tables, there is no column named color. Remember, in the normalization, we have only the bad column names in source and the good normalized column name in target. We didn't keep all the permutations of all the good columns in the conversion, only the bad ones, only those that need to be fixed, not those that need to stay the same. So in order to resolve that, in this situation, we don't have a color in one of the tables, which means that we need to keep color as the name. The original name should be kept. To do it quickly, I can just use try. So if the function will work, that's great. If it will not work, otherwise, I would like to keep the original. I'm keeping the original name. So now you see the function ran on all the column names. And if I will go to the products, and in products, I will remove the change type automatic step that was created for us, you will now see suddenly we have name. Everything is green. We don't have empty values. And product number is also everything green. We don't have product empty values there. I can hide. I can disable the load for the header conversion. It's just a base table that we need. And now I can just home, close, and apply. And I will, in 10 minutes, I solved the ability for a corporation now, after purchasing 3 different companies and keeping our own, to understand the business performance of the combined organization without the need to get from IT or vendors to work 2 years for consolidation of data warehouses. Okay? We call it the right to left approach. We don't need, for making decisions, we don't need to wait for all the infrastructure to be built from left to right. We start every project in the insight, because Power BI allow you to be those magicians for the traditional ways of doing data consolidation, data engineering, etc. Any questions before we move? Yes? A great question. Answer is yes. However, the user interface in data flows, Power BI data flows, is not ready. It's not on the same level. So my recommendation is to build that in Power BI and then migrate the code to Flow. There is a good chance in some of the most sophisticated capability that you do with Flow, like using functions. Here we use custom functions. Also, we combine the data from a folder. So you may be in a situation where some scenarios will need the premium, not the Power BI Pro license, but a premium node to dedicate for the workspace with the Flow. Otherwise the complications will not be supported. The references and the complexity dependencies. Okay, so we have 10 more minutes. So I'm going to go to the last demo that I wanted to share with you today. I'm skipping just to show you very quickly, I'm going to skip this one for the context. The context one, this is chapter 5. We'll just go to in the next scenario, sorry, which is unpivot. So let me just show you very quickly what we have here. So in Excel, we have now sorry, not this one. This one. So here we have sample data from wide world importers, another sample data set that we can use, sorry, for Microsoft. In this case, for preparing the book, I needed to rely on approved data sources from Microsoft. This is a Microsoft Press book. It has a rigorous process to approve new data sets to write about. So the way to work around the importance of being in a qualified data set was to take AdventureWorks, Wide World Importers, and just use Power Query instead of cleaning data to mess the data. So what you see here is something that I messed it. The original data is very clean in the database of Wide World Importer, but to learn Power Query, we need challenging data sets. So in this case, I created this data as our first step in our exercise. So you see you have here already pivoted data. It's very common to have those pivoted tables in many organizations, in many spreadsheets, and sometimes you rely on them as a source data to make to build your BI solutions. So the challenge to take this data and unpivot it in a way that will allow you to make decisions is what we are going to do now in the next 3 minutes. We'll do it very quickly without a lot of explanations. And I'm sorry if you will miss some of it. It's well documented in the book. And you can just go through the solution files without buying the book to see the steps if you will miss one of the elements that we did today. Also, the session is recorded, so you can just run very, very slowly and don't miss the steps. So I will go now and click Get Data, select Excel, and we will load the Wide World Importers pivot table. I will select the revenues table and click Edit. So you see we have the data in a very challenging way. And the column headers and the row headers are now with nulls on the parent categories of those hierarchies. We have row hierarchies and column hierarchies. But for example, these values should all be United Kingdom. And these values should all be England. And these are California, and these are United States, right? So what I'm going to do is select the first columns and fill down. And now you can see we have also the same type of challenge in nulls for the parent categories. In this case, clothing. Now this null should also be clothing. Okay? And this one, components, these two nulls should be components. Now we don't have in Power Query fill right. So what would we do? Any suggestions? Yeah, we will flip it and then we'll do fill down. Okay? So before we do the flip, there is another shortcut of something that we would like to do later. So for now, it will look a bit awkward if you are not familiar with this technique by now. But I'm going to do something which is counterproductive. I'm going to mess up the data a bit more. I'm going to select those first 3 columns and merge them together. I'm packaging it together now, merge column, using merge column, you see, merge column options. And I will use a colon as a separator. So everything now, we have the country, the region, and the city, all colon separated in a single value. Now we will go and do the transpose. And we will, you see we have now this row with the accessories and bikes. All these nulls should be filled. So we will do the fill down. And now I'm going to use first row as headers. And you will see that only the first 2 rows are meaningful, the parent category and the product. Or sorry, it's a parent category and category. And then you have all the values on the combination of the trios of the geolocation. So now all we need to do is go, select the first 2 columns, right-click, unpivot other columns, and now we are starting to get what we have. You see the values, our revenues coming from each one of those categories are now formatted in the right way. And all we need is go to the attribute, right-click, split column by delimiter, and use the colon as a separator, and that's it. We are ready to go. We just need to do the renaming. So this is parent category, and this is category, and this is country, and this one is state or region. United States has different hierarchy than UK, but for the purpose of the example, we can keep it as it is. And city, and we have the value, and home, and close and apply. And that's it. The data is structured as we need. OK, so we are now back to the raffle. I will show you for a second the QR code as well, one last time if you want to see it. Just a second. OK, so back to this one. OK, if you didn't use the QR code, you're welcome to do it now. Anyone? Or should we continue? Great. So I'm now going to a Power BI report. This is the report. Let's do a refresh. I'm going to show you once, and then we will do the raffle itself. We have just 3 minutes, which is exactly what we need for that raffle. So I'm now refreshing the database, and you can see. Sorry? Oh, thank you. So we have a Power BI report. I just used the the manual refresh on the data set to refresh it because I have a random function in M that is working here, that is in play. And this is the report. Okay, it's a bit moved a bit. So you see these are your phrases. And these are not the winners yet. We will do it now. I just wanted to demonstrate how it looks. No, yeah. You know what? What do you think? If I will do a vote, if I will have a vote now, it will. Yeah, let's do it one more time, okay? I just wanted to show you, to prove to you that it's going to be randomized. So if I will now go and click refresh again on the data set, now these are the winners, okay? So we will go back to the report after it is being refreshed. Come on, reports. Let's also expand the screen. So now, no, just a second. I didn't do a refresh here, by the way, in Power BI. You know, I would be glad to give you a book, but then everybody will think that my random function is not working. OK? So now we have here 8 winners. Let's go to Edit Report. OK? Not everybody there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. OK, and we can now go. Let's just expand it a bit. So now what I'm going to do. Come on, what's that? Fix this. OK, so now I can go to Gordo and email you the confirmation that you win. Usually I do that also with digital books. So you would get the code how to purchase the book. And AAA, come on. Do we have AAA? I think it's me. I will need, yeah. And J, and Test, and Captain ATX, and 765123, and Physician Dialysis, and 3099. I may have here 2 bigs for some reason that I'm winning them because of test data that I did. So unless someone here with AAA. So you should receive now your email with the confirmation that you won, and you're welcome to come and grab your book. Yeah, we'll see. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.